like he sounded like, what's wrong with you? What's going on? Levi sounded like he was legitimately 45.
That's what it sounds like when somebody take your internet from you. So you use the trash.
Exactly.
Well, this got derailed quickly.
You know we gotta have somebody listen to their pod. But y'all know how we gonna start this off. It's NBA preseason. Please tell me who you are looking at, which games you've seen this past week, and what is standing out to you. I know for me, the person that's been standing out, I know it's only been one game, but the New York, even though they young, they've been looking nice. They got some pieces, bro. Tim Hardaway, he's still out here being the seventh man off the bench, even though he's starting. It's hard to watch, but, you know, I feel like he could get 12 a game for you. And then Alonzo Trier just went crazy the other day. That was,
oh, yeah, I heard that.
Yeah. Alonzo Trier showed me something that I didn't expect from him. I thought he was going to be superiorly overmatched when it came to the NBA, but he got a little something. And then Mitchell Robinson's athleticism and almost maturity. Did y'all see that he got, I think it's Markieff Morris kicked out the Wizards game?
Yeah, I saw that.
Bruh, very, very veteran move by the rookie, even though it's preseason. And Markieff Morris need to get together. But I'm waiting. What's up?
Real quick, though. So I was looking on the internet, right? And when I say internet, I mean Twitter. And, Ayton?
Yeah.
I saw a post that was like, Ayton, the new Shaq, with the jump shot. And in my mind, I'm like, is that Shaq then? Like, why can't you go with a different player? Like, that was the stupidest thing I've ever read in my life. And I was upset about it because this was like a publication that was like, is actually credited for like sports. I'm just like, it's not Shaq if he had a jump shot then. So like, let's be creative, people. But he looked solid that first start though. I'm not gonna lie to you. He looked solid. Embiid's gonna embarrass him, but it's gonna be like a, Patrick, Shaq kind of dynamic they have. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's gonna be a lot of good centers in the league, or a lot of great centers in the league, coming up. But Embiid's gonna be the better center of all of them, you know what I mean? But Ayton definitely looked like he has the potential and the skill set for sure to be a solid stretch center, for sure.
Alright. Wait, with that first game, were they even playing anybody from the NBA? I thought,
the first game, I think it was somebody against the NBA. The second game, it was like, I think it was an Australian team or something like that.
But like, he was like, when I was saying like, it wasn't like he was in there like dunking on people kind of stuff, right? But when he said picks, he was rolling the correct way every time. He was stepping out, shooting the three, making the three. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the different things that you can see once, the whole eye test type deal. And that you're like, okay, yeah, this guy's got a skill set that's gonna like translate. He's really light on his feet, like really light on his feet. So he's not Greg Oden. So his knees aren't gonna implode. You know what I mean? But, and you know how like when Joel Embiid gets the ball down low and he'll just dunk it and like he'll hang on the rim like a little longer and he'll just like demolish the rim. Ayton was more like a soft, like a low-key Carmelo type dunk, you know what I mean? And it was just like, okay, it doesn't do much for me, but everything he does just soft. The jump shot, soft. The footwork, soft. Everything's just soft. It was like, okay, this is going to be a solid dude.
What about you, Levi? What you got? Oh, wow, snap. My bad. Let's go back to Cal. We completely skipped over you.
So, I didn't get to watch too much. I saw a little of that Laker game. I'm not sure if they look good or great per se, but they look entertaining.
Yeah.
Like, watching their games is probably going to be fun.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they have too many guys whose IQ is too high? You know what I mean? Because, like, yeah, that whole, like, exchange with, like, LeBron to Rondo down low, or Rondo passed the ball to, like, JaVale McGee for the dunk, that's, like, solid, and, like, it looks good, but, like, there's probably going to be there's probably going to be a lot of arguments that tend to happen, more times than not, behind the scenes because Rondo's hard-headed. We all know it, but with how hard-headed he is legitimately like one of the smartest players in the NBA. He has been one of the smartest players in the NBA in the last like 10 years. Like every year, no matter who comes in, no matter who leaves. You know what I mean? And LeBron's LeBron. We all know that he's got a strong IQ. So like, do you think there's gonna be people with there's too many? For me, it's not even about the personality. There's too many high quality, educated basketball players on that team that I don't know how that's gonna work. And I don't think we've seen it like this before, honestly.
In my opinion, I don't think it's going to be that much of an issue. If anything, it's going to take the first probably half of the season for them to like mesh together because it's almost going to be like a bunch of geniuses. Well, not a bunch of geniuses, like 2 or 3 geniuses like coming together on a project. And if you all come up with your own equation, especially if you have like a high level of respect, and it seems like they do have a high level of respect because they've been competing against each other for so long, that they're almost going to be like, oh, let's go with you. And then the other one's going to be like, no, let's go with you. And then it's going to take a coach like Luke Walton to be like, how about we just do this as like, let's combine you guys' theories and just see what happens. And that's when everything's going to click in the second half. And you'll be like, okay, this makes more sense. But there's going to be some very, like, pretty basketball. There's going to be some overpassing where you're just like, why? Why is this happening? Like, you could have taken the shot.
But also, that was for Calvin, not you, Owen, so shut up. Calvin, what was it?
But, it's like, yes, that, but I'm also, in general, kind of like, is that really a thing? Because it's like, if everyone has a high basketball IQ, then they should all know to be doing these things. So you would think at least that there shouldn't be like it shouldn't be that big of an issue, unless they just have wildly different ideas of what should be going on. But also, kind of to Alan's point, I don't think it's gonna be an issue. Cause, I don't know, they'll figure it out. I'm more interested in whether or not they'll have enough shooting when they need it, though.
I think they will have enough shooting. Because, first of all, Brandon Ingram can shoot. Alright? He can shoot. He's not gonna be, pulling up like Clay or Steph, and clearly, you know what I mean? But he can shoot good enough. Lonzo can shoot good enough. Shvee, coming off the bench, he can shoot. For what we've seen, he hasn't even played a game in the league yet, but, he might be a JJ Redick type, whatever. And Lance, he doesn't shoot very well, but for some reason he hits them when they tend to count for his team. It's really weird. But I think they have enough shooting already. I think the Lakers are going to be incredibly good. Like, honestly, I think they're going to be incredibly good, but people are like, they're younger core and step up. From last year, clearly going to step up from rookie seasons to sophomore seasons and sophomore seasons to junior seasons. You know what I mean? Like, clearly they're going to step up. And they have world-class, legitimate, young talent. Like, Kuzma, that little running hook he does, what year is this? But it goes in every time. You know what I mean? Like, it's an old school move, but it works every single time. And Brandon Ingram is so long. He's so long it disgusts me. Like, it makes me upset to watch him, like, get to the rim. He literally looks like a praying mantis. It makes no sense. And then, Lonzo has such a strong basketball IQ that he kind of just gets the ball off when he needs to get the ball off. And he doesn't force anything. If anything, he doesn't even really force a pass. He just lets the game flow. But this is the first time where whenever he lets the game flow, it won't automatically flow through him. So I'm curious to see how he'll adjust to that. But like you said, his basketball IQ, just like Ronald's basketball IQ and LeBron's basketball IQ, is so high that they'll adjust to more than likely all situations. I'm thinking, at least.
You know who?
All right, Levi. What'd you say, yo?
Oh, I was really that trash? It's great.
Try turning your video feed off and see if it helps.
All right.
For everybody listening, Levi is his Wi-Fi is how do you say trash?
Down.
So,
Down.
so all we hear is buffering. Like that's what I heard. So like
Furry. Did you hear that?
I mean, it was better than with the video.
Bro, go ahead and talk.
Yeah, hella buffering now.
All right, Levi, do you have any input?
None.
What are you talking? Okay, did you see any preseason games this week? Anything you wanna see from that you've seen from a player that you wanna talk about?
If you can hear me and understand me, maybe I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can't.
Yeah.
But it don't matter if we can hear you. You're recording yourself, so everybody else can hear you.
Facts.
Talk.
Alright, well, I did watch the Lakers. Niggas, I can't talk looking at you.
Bro, don't look at us there. Just go.
God, that's so ugly, bro. Okay. I did watch the Lakers. We're forgetting Josh Hart. B.I., the Lonzo Ball. Josh Hart is going to be that go-to guy. He might actually start this year because the way he's been playing, and KCP hasn't been playing to his full potential lately. So I feel like Josh Hart can take that shooting guard spot at the Lakers position. And B.I., he's a great piece to this team because he can run the point guard. He can hold the 4. I've seen him hold the 5 sometimes, but he can hold anybody. He can hold. Why did you nigga?
Because I'm just imagining in my mind Brandon Ingram holding Joel Embiid.
All 135 pounds of him, bro.
I just imagining it. Like, yeah, he long, but physically, this. The thing about Brandon Ingram, which tell me if you agree or disagree. His first year, he would go to the rim, but get bounced around. And then last year, you would see him go to the rim, but when he made contact with somebody, he would make contact and fly off of them, but he just learned how to adjust to get the and one off that. It's kind of it's weird to watch because you're used to seeing NBA players go bump into somebody and finish through the contact, but he finishes away from the contact. And it's he just bounces right off of him. It's weird, man. I'm just this guy is so fragile. I'm surprised he didn't get hurt more, to tell the truth.
He's deceptively strong. You got to remember that. You got to put that in account. When
Are you smoking?
No, I'm not smoking. I've been a Duke fan for how long? So I mean, I know.
Hey, the college game is so different from the NBA game, bro. If you were college strong, you might not be NBA strong.
The way you play is going to be the way you play.
He's
deceptively strong since college, and he's been saying that. Reporters have been saying that. Magic Johnson has been saying that.
That he's deceptively strong?
So many jokes right there. I got a good strip joke, but I'm not gonna use it.
The thing about being deceptively strong and all that's still not the same as saying, oh, he's strong enough at the slightest. I'm not saying he's weak, but it's not quite the same as saying he's strong enough that if he were to get bodied up in the post by Embiid or somebody, that they're not still just gonna push him around. Because you can have strength, but it's not, but if a dude is twice your size, even if you're strong, literally speaking, you'd be strong enough to pick him up, that's not gonna keep him from moving you.
So true. Yeah, a strong point.
He can deflect shots. He can deflect shots, and he can hold, and he can steal the ball, bro. I mean, what do you mean? I mean, I'm not talking about always in the post. I'm not talking about that strictly in the post. I'm just saying he can deflect shots. He can get in the way. He can contest shots. Anybody's shot. It doesn't matter who it is. I'm not saying he can body somebody or he can hold Joel Embiid in the paint. I'm just saying, bro, he can give him problems. That's what I'm saying.
Ben Simmons is putting him on a poster. Ben Simmons?
You saying Brandon Ingram cannot block Ben Simmons' shot.
Ben Simmons is not a deceptively strong person. Ben Simmons is strong.
A strong person. He is a man, bro.
It's weird, bro. He built like Westbrook except he's 6'10".
That's
I don't know
man.
about being built like Westbrook, but he can use his body like Westbrook can. We ain't gonna go that far.
He's big like Westbrook. Low key big.
He's
Yo.
like 250, 260, bro.
Who is?
What?
Ben Simmons.
Is that facts or is that Levi facts?
How big you think he is?
I have no
30?
idea. I have
He's
absolutely
about
no idea
250.
how big I have absolutely no idea how big Ben Simmons is.
He's
I don't know
about
about 250. He
I
might
see
be closer to
Calvin's eyes
230.
rolling. Calvin looking it up right now. I can see Calvin. I can see Calvin doing this thing. He looking it up right now.
It's like I'm checking some stuff. He's listed at 230.
Yeah.
How big is LeBron?
He's about 250, I thought. Hold up.
I know
This is what Mr. Bryant talking
They
about.
said that last year. He was 250, but I guess
He lost weight when he came to Miami. If I'm correct, right?
I thought it was when he came back to Cleveland. He dropped the weight because he was
Oh,
getting older.
Oh yeah. Because he dropped the weight because his later years in Miami, he started having the weird like back problems. I think that's what it was. He didn't want to become a new version of Larry Bird. So at the end of the day, that just makes sense.
Yeah, a lot of players are doing that now.
Yeah, he's listed at 250.
Oh, okay. I got you. Okay. Now, Alan, real quick,
You know,
for the podcast, you're talking about you had us all think about what ifs. What ifs in the NBA. So, like, explain what the what if is to the crowd, please.
All right, so NBA what ifs are basically the things that could have happened but never did. So we're talking if Derrick Rose never tore his ACL, if Chris Paul actually was traded to the Lakers 5 years ago, if I don't know, if Karl Malone won a ring, like what does that look like? You ain't gotta laugh at the band. What does that look like? How does that change the NBA's landscape today?
Okay. I got two off the top of my head. I'll go first. So mine, Derrick Rose. If Derrick Rose does not get hurt, his jump shot was becoming better each year. We already know he is wildly athletic. If he did not get hurt, Derrick Rose is a 2-time MVP. Derrick Rose is a 10-time All-Star. Derrick Rose is still with the Chicago Bulls to this very day. Alan, you got a question?
Who's he taking that MVP from?
If he doesn't get hurt, his jump shot starts going down more. So, or it continues to go down more. So what? He's taking an MVP from. He's getting at least one Steph Curry MVP.
He's taking it Steph Curry MVP.
At least one. Who has won MVP?
Asinine.
Who has won? First of all, if Derrick Rose did not get hurt, let's not act like this matchup would not be the most ridiculous matchup of all time. Like, honestly. So,
I'm not gonna lie, that would not be a great matchup for Steph Curry, bro. There's no way Steph Curry would be able to hold him. And I think if Derrick Rose actually locked in on defense, I don't know if Steph Curry is Steph Currying on that man.
But their styles of play are so contradicting. You know what I mean? So like it just be like, oh my God, Steph Curry shot for 3. Derrick Rose takes him to the rim and gets an and one on him. You know what I mean? Like it would just be incredibly fun to watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If the what if had not happened. You know what I mean? But another one that I have is Greg Oden. Greg Oden, if he didn't walk like a tree stump and his knees didn't implode from the inside out, Greg Oden had the skill set to be first of all, he's just not in the league. So he would at least be in the league. You know what I mean? He would be more notable than Brooke Lopez, but not by much. You know what I mean? Like Brook Lopez was like a really good player for the Brooklyn Nets for a long time, or the New Jersey Nets for a long, long time. But a lot of people who know basketball know Brook Lopez, but outside of basketball, he's not like a name everybody knows. And I feel like Greg Oden would be the exact same way, except with Portland. But Portland would not be as good as they are right now with Greg Oden. He would not be with Portland. He would have got traded at some point because the game has changed on him. And the game passed up the Greg Oden era.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Levi.
I was just agreeing with Phil about that concept.
Hey, wasn't he kind of all right at defense though?
He was.
Like, wasn't he like serviceable? Like,
yeah,
he could move his feet.
He could move. He could move his feet
though.
for somebody in the paint. You know what I mean? But like, go out there and pull somebody else, like, I don't know, one of the centers that can go out there and just guard other people, like fours or threes. He wouldn't do all that, but he can guard you a solid four, he can guard you a solid three. But also, when he came to the league, the stretch five wasn't really a thing yet. Like, it was starting to become a thing, but not really at all. So, like, I think the game would just pass him up. And right now, he'd have been like a journeyman. But he would still be in the league, and he wouldn't be at home, contemplating being on the big three.
You should not be the big three. I don't want to see injuries from these old people. I really don't. But that could give me a good laugh or two.
Hey, the big three, fun to watch.
Hell yeah. Especially if you get like some rivalries in it. Like, we can't forget the gray-haired Steph Curry. Roof. I can't. Mahmoud. I can't forget his last name. I can't pronounce it. But that boy got a jumper.
It's not Ale Akbar.
We're not playing with you. Next.
Alright, so my what if, since you're like, oh, how the league look different now? Because otherwise I was about to pull some real old ones. But
you can pull an old one too if you want to get that too.
Nah, cause the thing is, I mean, in fairness, we kind of go all day. Like, what if Lynn Bias didn't die from, what was it, like a cocaine overdose?
I'm not gonna lie. That, you can get that to today.
Like, what if, Sam Bowie didn't constantly stay injured from basically the time he got into college through his entire, basketball career in pro? But one that'd be more recent, and might have actually affected the league today, like, more clearly. Like, and in fairness, I don't know how they were with, like, how good they were when they actually all on the floor together. But, when they tried to set up a big three with, like, Kobe, Nash, and Howard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, what if those dudes weren't constantly injured the entire time? Like, what if they were actually healthy?
Okay, Allen's a really big Dwight guy. I am not, so I have a really big bias on this. I believe, like, I think I'm thinking objectively, but I'm pretty sure I'm not also. Because once again, the league passed up Dwight. So like but like with Steve Nash though, that might have made the difference. But Steve Nash is on his later years, which is like, I don't know what could have contributed. Kobe was doing Kobe. But what could Steve Nash contributed, even if he wasn't injured, because he was such, on the downside of his career?
I want to be completely honest with you. Without a injured back, or if he just played as well as he did in that, like, 2008, 2009 year, I could easily see Dwight Howard fitting in perfectly with today's rim running centers, because he can slide his feet a little bit, so he would have been able to get all the front court positions, probably not the small forward, but power forward, center, that's Dwight Howard coverage. And you get him to play a little bit more like DeAndre Jordan, and that's scary. Especially
also the double arm sleeves just bother me. They really do.
Stop worrying about the man apparel, boy. God.
Come on, man. You look like a clown wearing the double arm sleeve. That's disgusting. Shout out to Jason Tatum though.
Hey, man. Nah, I'm not playing with you. But you got one of the best point guards of all time, especially when it comes to passing off that pick and roll. Even at almost 40 years old, he can still sling that thing. And then you got to pick your poison. Do you want to stop that pick and roll with Dwight and Steve Nash, or do you want to get your ass bust by Kobe Bryant? Completely up to you.
And then he's got to play defense.
Who's got to play defense?
Steve Nash.
But that's why you got Dwight Howard. In his prime, one of the best rim protectors the league has seen in the past 10 to 15 years.
I'm about to say ever. I was like, come on, Allen. Come on, Allen.
I mean, he did win, what, three defensive players of the year? Like, not too many people have done that. Like, you weren't.
But also, you could say he's just a product of the bad timing for centers in the league at the time. Like, you could also say that. There wasn't great centers at the time. There wasn't great centers in the NBA when he was getting all his defensive, accolades. Is that not true, or is that true?
I'll say, I'll give it to you that it's true, but what I will not give you is that let's think of some other centers that are notable that played in the past, like, 10, 15 years, and think about who is actually better than Dwight Howard at protecting the rim. I wouldn't say Shaq was. Shaq was a force, but I don't know if Shaq is competing the way Dwight Howard was. What? Who else we got?
But he's got to compete that well in defense because he has no offensive skill set. So you got to bring some. You got to bring some to the table. You know what I mean? Shaq had an offensive skill set. Like, so like he didn't have to focus all on defense. Dwight did because all he did was catching alley-oops and that's it. And then suspect right jump shot or right hook push shot. I was like, okay.
And you're proving my point though. Like Dwight had to play defense. Shaq did not. So of course Shaq doing Shaq things would have been completely okay. Dwight Howard still would have got Defensive Player of the Year. What I tell you about the milk on your lip? But Dwight Howard would have definitely still got all three of those Defensive Player of the Years. The only way he wouldn't is if Ben Wallace was still Ben Wallace back in the day with Detroit. That'd have been the only person that's competing with him.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Calvin?
What? As far as Dwight goes, I'm inclined to kind of agree with Allen in the sense that he probably still fit in just fine because he's always a fairly athletic player. Granted, he's not Shaq, or young Shaq anyway. Shaq got old and stopped running. Or really moving at all. But, like, I don't know.
Okay. Levi? Forgot you were here. Okay. Not Levi. Not Levi there, I guess. Levi just using the bathroom, I guess. Okay. All right.
All right. So, nah.
Oh, okay.
Nah. My two favorite what ifs are both guards and some of my favorite players of all time. Various different reasons. My number one, of course, is Brandon Roy. If Brandon Roy's knees did not go out, we're looking at a pretty different NBA right now. I don't think LaMarcus Aldridge would have wanted to leave. I think him and Brandon Roy would have been every year somebody would say they're competing, but around February they would be like, but is he a contender? And they would be like, they're right on the cusp and they need somebody else. With that being said, if he stays healthy, there's no 2 down years where they get Damian Lillard. The next year they don't get CJ McCollum. So we got 2 20-plus point scorers playing on completely different teams. One is a suspect MVP candidate for the past 2 years. And the other, if he came off the bench, is a incredible six-man who can play, CJ McCollum.
CJ McCollum is one of the smartest players in the NBA right now. There is no way. He's too good to come off the bench. Ever.
I'm just saying, like, depending on who drafts him, he may be coming off the bench.
There's 3 teams in the NBA that could draft him, and he would definitely come off the bench. One being Golden State, the other being I said 3 because I assume there's others.
Well, you gotta remember though, if he's on a different, like, the teams looked different when he came into the league.
Exactly.
Besides that, the thing with 6 men is like the best 6 men would probably start on most teams.
I would never have I would never have CJ come off the bench though. CJ's
was coming off the bench his first 2 years.
He's better than Dame.
Sacramento.
Levi?
Wait. You said CJ McCollum was low-key better than Dame? Please explain. Because their deficiencies are the exact same. They both have nice handles. Damian Lillard got him on the athleticism.
Damian Lillard CJ got him on the IQ. And Damian Lillard, because Damian Lillard just doesn't play behind it. He plays no defense. Literally zero defense.
So what is CJ McCollum's IQ doing to keep him push him above Damian Lillard?
When Damian Lillard isn't scoring, what else is he doing for the team? Because what was it last year or the year before when they were in the playoffs and they literally the other team just double teamed Damian Lillard and they negated him out the game completely and he just put past it and not even try. He just passed it and just look.
What was CJ McCollum doing?
At least setting a back screen or passing to somebody who could score. Damian Lillard would just pass it to CJ and that's it. He would pass to him once he got past that court and just look. Like he would literally just look at him with his eyes open. I'm like, yo.
There's 2 scoring options. Who else was doing anything? There's 2 scoring options in Portland. That's Dame and that's CJ. You think I'm about to pass the ball to Al-Farouq Amino? No. But I don't care if I'm about to widen Al-Farouq Amino steps on the court. I don't know if I'm passing the ball to him.
Towards the rim. Come on now. Look. We're on the NBA. They have somebody who can handle the ball. You know what I mean? What's the old white dude's name who used to play for Notre Dame?
Notre Dame?
Wait, Notre Dame beat Kentucky or Duke that in the NCAA finals or NCAA.
Was it the little Hansborough brother?
No, this is 2 years ago, yo.
Oh, 2 years ago.
The dude who had mad bounce, and then he almost went to play baseball also in the major leagues.
Connaughton, Pat Connaughton.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's still on the team. I don't know if he's. Hey, can you look that up? I don't know if he's still on the. I don't know if he was with the Blazers last year.
This was whenever that happened to Dame though, he wasn't.
What now?
That was last year. That was last year when Drew Holiday and Rondo were locking him up.
No, but so it wasn't last year. I mean, it was last year, but it was also the year before then because it happens every year, every single year. He does nothing else to bring to the team besides he had that one really really good series against the Rockets that one year when they beat Dwight and Harden. Outside of that, Dame is just a good scorer. But that's literally it to me. He's the kind of person that you would bring off the bench. As a 6-man. He has the same mentality as a 6-man. He has the same mentality as a 6-man, except he just has to start. It's just like Jamal Crawford.
Somebody mute Phillips' mic, please. Forever.
What? Get out of here, man. I'm just saying. And I like Dame though. But if in all situations they both can come off the bench. You know what I mean?
Hot take of the week. I'll take that. That's a soundbite. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I don't know if I believe that, but it's all good.
Yeah. And what were you about to say, Calvin?
I don't remember no more.
Yeah. But my second player is my favorite shooter of all time, Gilbert Arenas. Hopefully y'all get that joke. But no, bro. Just imagine he doesn't hurt his knee. He doesn't get suspended for almost 2 years because of the gun incident. I do not think the Wizards are any better, but the team that he goes to is markedly better. And let's just say he gets traded to almost anywhere in the East. they become so much better, and his name is not tarnished, and he's not forgotten by history. The only reason why he's still irrelevant today is because he did one of the craziest things in NBA history and bought guns into the locker room and said, "What's good?"
Hey, Gilbert Arenas might be one of the most entertaining NBA players that just in general, like one of the most entertaining NBA players of all time. Like legitimately of all time.
Bro, I'll give you that, bro. He's
Did you see his Complex show? The him and the porn star Mia, what's her name? Mia Khalifa.
Yeah.
Straight garbage. like that was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. But Gilbert Arenas by himself, like through his Instagram or whenever he's on like a sports like based radio show talking about basketball opinions, he's good. He's very 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 good.
And he is the hot take team captain. He's
over Paul Pierce.
Yeah. Because Paul, there's a difference between having a good hot take and just saying some wild stuff. Paul Pierce says some stuff that you just kind of like. Can we replace him, please?
This is Paul Pierce said he thought that Andre Drummond was going to be better than Anthony Davis.
Wait, did he actually say that?
He actually said that, yeah.
There are several people who would agree with him if you go back to their draft and what they did in college. So I'm not going to slight him for that because I thought Anthony Davis was going to be trash. I'm not going to lie.
I have no idea how you saw Anthony Davis and you thought he was going to be trash. I'm not going to lie to you. Anthony Davis,
I'm not gonna lie. I completely thought Kentucky big men were extremely overrated. So when he was playing, I was like,
Thomas Robinson was the most overrated player of all time. And Anthony Davis in the NCAA tournament was like 2012, 2011, or 2012. Anthony Davis, without even really scoring, embarrassed Thomas Robinson. It was to the point where Thomas Robinson was on the list this year for Bleacher Report's best player to not make an NBA team. like Anthony Davis was abusing him and scored like 3 points. It was embarrassing. Anthony Davis, I saw at least, for me personally, I said like 12 that he was going to be really really good.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure Alan likes this. Unless my stuff is bad. You're still a Kansas fan, right?
Oh, damn, I'm a Kansas fan, bro.
Okay.
I mean, I literally go to KU right now, and I'll tell anybody. Thomas Robinson, if you look at his highlights in college, they were all dunks. He's 6'8". Like, they are all dunks. He had no actual post move. I was like, but he almost won the Wooden Player of the Year and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, in college you can win that by all dunks. But in the NBA, when you're the same height as LeBron, and all you do is do like random post up dunks, and you got and LeBron's over here doing what LeBron does. I'm sorry, man, you're so undersized and you're so underskilled that you were gonna be garbage. And Anthony Davis was like, yeah, you are gonna be garbage. Let me as a freshman, let me embarrass you. That's what he said. I was like, okay.
I'm not gonna lie. As a Kansas fan, one thing I know for sure: if you want to get drafted and possibly the lottery as a big man, Kansas is the best place for you to go get an actual education. Well, somewhat of an education. I don't know what you guys are doing over there, but you can get an education for free and be a king on the court and off the court, and possibly be the biggest bust in your draft class. Because I cannot think of the last Kansas big man that you're proud to say came from Kansas.
Marcus and Marquise were big men in Kansas.
Right. Now go after that. Who else is there?
You just say come up with some. I came up with two.
No.
After that.
And that was 5 years ago. Wait, no, it was probably longer than that.
Joel Embiid?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, didn't he come out of Kansas?
Yeah, he did.
I forgot about Joel Embiid. What? Okay, hot take removed. I'm gonna go ahead and scrub that. That's what's up.
No, but Ganning Manning was really good at getting big men to be really good in college but then really mediocre in the NBA, just like he was in his career. So he was just reflecting on the kind of people that he liked in his system. But when he left, and where did he go? He went to Tulsa, and now he's at Wake Forest, I think. But when he left, like Kansas ended up getting Joel Embiid once he left, and then he ended up being better. Like he was good in college. Then they start talking about him being the number one draft pick, all that kind of stuff. But the injuries and all that kind of stuff. But then, like, Cliff Alexander was garbage. Cliff Alexander was pure hot garbage. Who's that one that was supposed to play last year, but then went overseas because he didn't pass the
Billy Preston?
Yeah.
Billy Preston. Yeah,
Wasn't
Billy
that
Preston.
something dealing with like a car?
It was he couldn't get on the court because he didn't qualify by NCAA standards. And then they were like, this car thing, bro. This is not adding up.
What's his name? Carlton Braggs. He
That boy
was
left
garbage.
so quickly.
You want to hear something I heard though?
What?
Okay, look, I promise you. So when he left out of KU, right, or when he left from KU, they I really don't know the reasons why they say he left.
Mm-hmm.
But I was talking to somebody that I worked with who was part of a sorority, who was affiliated with a sorority here at Kansas University.
Oh, you got to be messy.
And I heard that the reason was very hashtag Me Too-ish.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough.
Okay.
We're not gonna get into that.
Okay, but he was garbage. Anyways, with his headband. And who else was garbage? Well, anyways, Perry Ellis was the most overrated person I've ever. Well, overrated big man in the history of big men.
He was a good college player.
Perry Ellis jumped over me when I was a sophomore, and I didn't know it was Perry Ellis at the time.
What were you doing What were you doing on the court with Perry Ellis?
Bruh, I don't know how, but the Lewis Wilkins, who we went to school with, somehow knew Perry Ellis, and he was in Belton, and that dude jumped over me, and I was very confused, and then I left the gym shortly after.
And then I never played basketball again.
No, I was never good again. That's what you meant to say.
Oh, my fault. No, you were never good before.
That's not true. I was a superstar in second grade. That's bad. I peaked early.
It's ridiculous.
Nobody on this podcast.
Perry Ellis. Look, I saw Perry Ellis play in high school, right? Because he went to Wichita Heights and he played against Raytown South here in Kansas City. And Raytown South had this dude named Earl Peterson, who I will go to my grave by saying Earl Peterson was one of the best players I've seen play in real life in high school and in college. Like I saw him play because he went to Coffeyville Community College also.
Mm-hmm.
And this man was literally had to wrap his forearm because when he dunked that hard. Like I literally saw a play like this. He dunked the ball, went down. Because if you know anything about the Jayhawk Conference in Kansas, it's like one of the best community college conferences in the country. He dunked the ball, went down, blocked the shot, came back down, hit a three from the volleyball line, but the rim was still shaking.
I'm confused. I'm confused.
No, that place needs better funding. That basketball goal.
No, I promise you, that dunk was so thunderous, it made absolutely no sense. And I just went because I knew him.
Hit a three right after he blocked the shot and hit a three right after the dunk.
So like
he fell down.
He dunked the ball. He went down and played defense. Blocked the guy's shot. Got the ball. Shot the three, but the rim was still shaking because the dunk was that hard.
Oh, okay.
And he hit the three. Let me just clarify. He hit the three. But he ended up going to Loyola. He graduated the year before. You know, they went on their magic run in the NCAA tournament. Loyola Chicago. But I saw him play against Perry Ellis in high school at the Hy-Vee shootout. And, shout out to Gilbert Arenas. But Perry Ellis.
I missed that.
Yeah, you missed that, didn't you? But Perry Ellis was he looked like he was 45 when he was 12. His hairline was already receding when he was 15. He was just a big, old. Like he matured faster than everybody else. He was like Ishmael Wainwright. Like they all matured physically. They all matured physically faster than everybody else. You know what I mean? Like everybody else, when they're 17, they look 17. These dudes look like they were 25 when they were 17. It's ridiculous. But Perry Ellis was a 4-time Gatorade Player of the Year for Kansas. Perry Ellis also had he had a quiet 25 points. Like you would have had no idea, but you look at box score of the name. Oh, 25 and 12. What? You know what I mean? Because it wasn't flashy. It was all very efficient, and he knew how to use his body. You know what I mean? And also when you're 6'8" in high school, and in Kansas, you can pretty much abuse anybody. To be perfectly honest. But yeah, he just never was that great to me. But he just never was that great to me. He just was a product of being big for his age, and then got to Kansas by doing it.
All right, Levi, you got anything for the what ifs? Been real quiet, bro.
Yeah, my internet acting weird, bro. I agree. Everything you guys are saying, though, I agree.
So who's your what if, bro? All right.
I didn't hear anything y'all said. What did you say?
What's your what if?
Tracy McGrady. If he could stay healthy, will he be able to get a championship? Do you think Tracy McGrady would have been able to get a championship with another team at least if he was healthy?
Tracy McGrady is such it's like an upsetting situation because I read one time that Kobe said that Tracy McGrady was the hardest person to guard. He was one of the most offensively talented people that he guarded, but Tracy McGrady couldn't handle the grind of his season because Kobe Bryant would work out all the time, and Vince Carter would work out all the time, to keep their body physically healthy, and Tracy McGrady wouldn't. He just didn't work out like that, so he used his talent instead of working hard to get past the whole talent, the whole talent threshold. You know what I mean? But that's a really upsetting situation. But Tracy McGrady definitely is. I'm trying to forget those Spurs years or that Spurs year. But I don't know. Would he get a championship? I assume he would. I'm assuming he would because there was some wild
year though.
There was some wild year though that there was supposed to be a trade for T-Mac that didn't happen. I can't remember what team or what.
I think I know what you're talking about. I heard about it.
Yeah, I can't remember what team or what the trade was, but it was some trade that should have changed the landscape of the NBA.
T-Mac. Was it the one when I want to say T-Mac was a rookie? It was going to be him for Scotty.
Yes.
Is that the one you're talking about?
T-Mac and the Bulls. T-Mac and the Bulls with Jordan. That's what it's supposed to be. So imagine if that would have been the case. You know what I mean? So pretty much the what if about T-Mac is what if that trade would have happened. And he would have got some rings with Jordan for sure. And then, when Jordan retired, he would have taken the gauntlet, I guess.
Would he have? Because didn't T-Mac kind of struggle his first year, which was still in the Jordan still trying to get his rings era?
He struggled, but he would have been asked to he would have been asked for a different role on that team. You know what I mean? He wouldn't be asked to be the scorer and to do all that kind of stuff. He just would have been asked to be long, play defense, Scott. He'd been asked to do what Scottie Pippen did, except be younger.
Could he do what Scottie Pippen was doing at 18 years old straight out of high school? That's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother question.
But also T-Mac was a wildly athletic person. So if you're asking him to play defense and get steals and pass the ball to Jordan and finish a wide open shot when Jordan gives you the ball, I think T-Mac could have handled that.
He also had to be the second option. Go ahead, my bad.
No, that's cool. So my concern with that is, one, in all likelihood, he never actually learned how to play defense. He was just so athletic that it didn't matter. So that would be one issue with asking him to play defense in pro. Because then he would actually have to know how to play defense. Because they're dudes who they're not necessarily as athletic as you. Like, you're not about to embarrass them athletically. Also, from what you were saying earlier, it sounds like he was kind of a lazy dude, in terms of like work ethic and all that. And MJ would break people's spirits. So if that trade had to happen, we probably wouldn't be talking about him.
I think, when you're with you're like in a make or break situation, right? And when you're like in that situation with Jordan on your team, and you're like with the Bulls, and we all know the reputation that Jordan had at that time for being like you said, a hard
asshole,
hard dude, right? Like he was a hard man. But from what you hear of his teammates, more times than not, he brought the best out of his teammates. You know what I mean? Yeah, some people broke down, but like usually or not, that was the case.
Right.
And if you got Jordan on your team, I'm pretty sure Phil Jackson's gonna teach him how to play defense. You know what I mean? Like there's gonna be some coaches, something that get you to play defense the correct way. Especially when you have Jordan guarding you or during a practice, whatever it is, you see correct defense. You know what I mean? So clearly in a what if situation, there's a lot of what ifs that go along with the what if, but I don't know. I think that just there's a possibility. I'm not gonna say he's definitely gonna get some rings, whatever it is. There's a possibility that he could have became, Scottie Pippen-esque player with a better offensive skill set.
Way better. Yeah. Well, I 100% don't know if that trade goes down, what happens. Because did y'all watch the Vince Carter documentary?
Yeah.
Did you peep that Tracy McGrady was having a hard time away from his parents in Toronto? You mean to tell me you got your idol / asshole who's probably nothing how you imagined yelling at you all day? That's a daunting task for somebody that just was at prom a year ago. But hey, I don't know. I feel like that's another person whose will you're not about to break. You just go. And another thing that I'm realizing, like in all of our what ifs, injury is a big thing. Just imagine if they had the technology and could map out your body like they have that technology now to know what's going to happen before you get injured.
What if the NBA physicality and defensive, all kind of stuff, rule change hadn't happened? The hand checking, all kind of stuff.
Curry would not be a thing.
No. I don't know about that. Because you would have to think of all the people who were, one, quick enough to stay in front of Curry a whole 94 feet.
But the wild thing
or
is,
at least pick him up at half court.
The wild thing is, though, in that time, you didn't need to be as quick as somebody. You really just needed to be stronger because you would just guide them with your hand. You know what I mean? Like, low-key, at the rec here, that's how I play. Just cheat.
Exactly.
You just guide them with your hand. I got big hands. Just guide people. You know what I mean? So, like, all they have to do is guide them. You know what I mean? Because they got it. Who was Russell Westbrook? You think he can't guide Steph Curry? You know what I mean? Steph Curry, it wouldn't be a thing. I don't think it would be a thing at all, actually. I agree with Calvin.
Right. Well, like, the thing is, it's like, one, like, they're not, like, dudes could just be more physical with it in general. And, you know how, like, playoffs will get more physical and whatever. And, at least for me, when I've seen Curry, a lot of his worst nights are during playoff games. Shooting wise.
More physical, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? LeBron would still be a thing. Like, that's a credit. Yeah. That's a credit to LeBron's greatness. He would still be a thing no matter what era. Yeah, he wouldn't be going through, but also, I think the respect factor for LeBron would be higher also because there also would be no flopping. You know what I mean? And a lot of knock against LeBron was when he used to flop. You know what I mean? Or used to last year. When he flops, you know what I mean? So like, the respect that people would have for LeBron would probably be greater, even greater than what it is right now.
Yeah, man. Not only that, but going back to the Steph Curry thing, just imagine with hand checking, that forces Steph Curry to become a spot up shooter. You mean to tell me you got Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, and their designated roles are spot up shooters? That's crazy, bro. That's scary. That's scary. And if they somehow get a dominant big man like they have now with Cousins, and if Cousins is unselfish, that's scary, bro.
Well, it's like part
That's
of why
so
I'm sorry, but part of why I'm like Curry wouldn't necessarily be a thing. Obviously, the hand checking, but also dudes be more physical with him off the ball. Like, they'd be more physical with him off the ball. It's like once he coughs that thing up, he's not getting it back.
Who last year or the year before in the playoffs was like ridiculously physical with Steph Curry, but like in the context of the rules? What team was that? That was Rockets. That was Rockets.
Yeah, but you know they changed that rule. They changed that rule. So if I think they said they're trying it out in the preseason right now to make sure, but they said the foul calls have been ridiculous. I think it was one game with the Knicks, they had 53 foul calls alone, and then another, I want to say with the Kings was 83. It was ridiculous.
I saw something about that, and I thought about mentioning it to y'all. It's just, I don't know. I think it was basically the way they're trying to enforce it now is dudes can't touch each other at all, and I don't know. It seems kind of unnecessary to me.
Yeah. Well, if Derrick Rose is, because I know he's starting to look not Derrick Rosey, but he's starting to look super quick. That off the ball cutting.
That's my comeback player of the year. So I think he has the opportunity, especially depending on who they get for Jimmy Butler and if Jimmy Butler goes and all kind of stuff. He has an opportunity to be the first person to win MVP and comeback player ever.
Look, my thing with that is
most improved. I mean, most improved.
Oh, you think he about to get most improved?
I think he could. I think he has an opportunity to, for sure. Especially, you know how the media already hypes literally everything he does. He's a fan favorite just from the style of play he has. He has the opportunity, especially from where he came from last year. He has an opportunity to literally be the first person to win MVP at one point in their career and to win most improved player at another aspect or another point in their career also.
Yeah, I think he would have to score at least he would have to be at a 20 points a game, 5 assists, and the Timberwolves would have to be pretty decent for that to happen.
I think the Timberwolves are going to be decent, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. But I don't know how you can get most improved after getting MVP. I don't know if people that's crazy.
There's a long span in between, though. It's crazy.
I mean, yeah, there's a long span between. It's hard to hate him because, his knees have gone out, 4 or 5 times now?
Probably higher than that. I don't want to count. That's a lot.
It's just it's hard to hate a dude who keeps his knees keep giving out on him. He lost entire seasons to this continually, and he just keeps coming back. So I could kind of see it, him getting most improved, because it's after MVP, because you haven't been an MVP, and at least part of that is because you have some of the worst knees on the planet that actually works.
And don't forget his annual mid-season breakdown, where he just has to walk away from the game for about a week to do I actually want to do this?
I really think that, first of all, we all be walking away if we had the injuries this man had. We all be contemplating everything, honestly. But I think him being with Tom Thibodeau, for whatever reason, I have absolutely no idea. But I think it's maybe because he's from the hard streets of Chicago and he needs a hard-nosed coach. You know what I mean? But Tom Thibodeau is his shining light, I guess you would say, for the NBA. You know what I mean? I really think it is. Because look at his friends. His best friend in the NBA is Patrick Beverley. Derrick Rose is Southside. Literally, Patrick Beverley was in one interview with Woj. He was yeah, I got 3 friends in the league. we're all from Chicago because everybody in the league is fake, and Derrick Rose is one of those people, and he ain't fake. You know what I mean? Like Derrick Rose is like a hard nose kind of dude. And I think that Tom Thibodeau just happens to be that kind of coach, and that he just happened to get lucky to get set up with really really early on. You know what I mean? And then he just, this is the season. If that were to ever happen in NBA history, actually, this is the season that were to happen in, because everything's right for the situation, I guess. If Jimmy Butler doesn't get traded, or does get traded.
Man. Y'all boys got anything else to say? I think we can almost call this one a wrap.
Yeah. What about you, Levi?
I'm good. I agree with everything you said.
I appreciate you agreeing, man. I really do.
Internet guy next time.
Please do.
Okay, yeah. That would be great.
All right, so y'all boys got anything in the works? We're 10 days away from the NBA season starting. I can't wait. Calvin, you got anything for us?
Nothing too much. I did catch that FIBA Women's Championship game. I was a little disappointed because they shut Cambridge down. So she might have had 10 points.
That's very unpatriotic of you to say that, but I understand.
I mean, that was disappointing. Not so much that I wanted Australia to win. It's just like,
it's cool. You don't love the U.S. It's cool.
I mean, I'm not a fan of the president. I'll happily admit to that. But it was like the thing is, there's no one, like, there wasn't anyone else on her team that was like close to her level. So she gets the ball. They'll be out here. If they didn't have Griner on her, they'd like double team her, like, and all that type of stuff. And no one else could really step up like that. Side note, there's a girl on, that was on the Australian national team who will probably be cold here in a couple of years. She apparently turned down an offer from UConn to play pro ball in Australia.
She never coming over here, bro. If she turning down UConn, she never coming over here. They got real money in Australia for WNBA players, bruh.
Yeah, overseas,
I have a 9-to-5, and I make just as much as the number 1 draft pick from the WNBA, and that's really sad, bro. Because I'm a terrible performer at my job.
Way to be honest, man. Way to be honest. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't watch that much women's basketball, to be perfectly honest. So I'm gonna take Calvin's word for everything he says to you. True.
I just like basketball in general. I haven't watched the WNBA this year, though I kind of been meaning to. But it was like, the World Championships, and so I was kind of interested. But the U.S. team is like any other U.S. basketball team. You basically just go and grab most of the all-stars, your favorite role players. You throw them you throw them at the rest, at like every other country, and then just wait for them to win.
Okay. Because I was listening to this one guy talk about like why women athletes in like the United States are so good at sports, and it's because they have the opportunity to be, unlike a lot of other countries in the world, to where like they have like actual like problems that they're really dealing with, like civil rights problems, and like they're placed in like certain roles and gender roles and all kind of stuff. Like in the United States, they just have more opportunity to be better. So like from what I'm seeing, the world's starting to like become more, equal in like gender roles in a general sense. So like I wonder how soon it'll take for somebody else at a different country to catch up and like be able to compete with women in the United States of America, especially women's basketball, because women's basketball in other countries it's like they do so well. You know what I mean? Like they're really paid well, and they're treated much better actually than people here in the WNBA are. So it's like I wonder how long it's gonna take them to catch up.
But for the rest of the world to catch up, if they are locking down Elizabeth Cambridge like that, I think it's going to be a solid 20 to 30 years before they have a team that can rival. Like every year we have every like Olympics, they were like Spain. I think it's going to be a long time before they have like, let's say Australia can do it. Like, can they really?
Then it's gonna be like this one year where like women's basketball from a different country pulls like an Argentina and just wins the entire thing.
And we're all it makes a ripple for all of 5 minutes in sports because sadly we don't care enough about women in sports.
It's because they're not exposed enough. No, seriously, because like all the women's sports that they care about in the United States, look at how they're dressed, and there's a clear correlation. Gymnastics, volleyball, they're all like, the most popular sports are all like, they show more. They just happen to show more because the uniforms tend to be a little more tight or whatever you want to say. You know what I mean? So like, I really think that's part of the reason. That's part of the reason also.
Yeah.
That's terrible. But go ahead, Calvin. What was you about to say?
I was literally just about to ask, like, is that your dog?
I don't have a dog. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, must be Levi's.
But I mean, that makes a certain amount of sense, though.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll plug my thing in next, I guess.
Alright.
Or are you done, Calvin? You done?
Pretty much. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I am bumming it out in grad school pretty much. So like literally once the NBA season starts, I'm just gonna be watching a lot of TNT. I'm like really excited actually for like the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday whole thing they do when the season gets rolling. But yeah, I'll just be doing that and then doing all the article stuff for the Traveling Hoopers website and just doing the basic things and waiting to go to Fisk for homecoming and then interviewing some of the players and hopefully the coach if I get this too. So,
Levi, you got anything?
No, nothing so far.
All right, bro. You keep being productive over there. All right, and of course, you can find us at Traveling Hoopers on Twitter and eventually Instagram. We will be uploading sound bites of this podcast and every other from this point on, as well as covering / stealing from the NBA all season long. And I am still working on our Texas content because this is where I live. So once the season really starts here, I am going to be all over the place seeing how these amazing high school students are doing, as well as coming up with some other NBA-esque things. I'm actually thinking about going ahead and doing the all-NBA what-if team because I love what we just did. That was fun. But again, follow us at Traveling Hoopers, and we'll see you next week.